Hi, I'm Alex Beckstedt.
And I'm Jillian Eberline.
Thanks for joining us on the 10-Minute Tack-Up, brought to you by My New Horse. We're going to sit down for a quick, honest chat about all things horse ownership. Thanks, everyone, for joining us on this episode of the 10-Minute Tack-Up. This week, Jillian and I are talking about breeds, our favorite breeds, some of the breeds that we've worked with and what they're like, and kind of some tips for how to figure out what horse breed is the right one for you if you're looking for a horse. Let's kick it off, Jillian. Favorite breed, go.
My favorite breed right now is the quarter horse. It used to be a warm blood, but once I sat on my first quarter horse, I was like, wow, this is what everyone says it is. I love them. I love their personalities. They are pretty versatile, and obviously that's what Shiloh is. So it's my favorite.
Yeah, when you first rode one, what was it that you're like, oh, this is cool?
I think I was always under the misconception that quarter horses were just Western. You know, everyone thinks barrel racing quarter horses. So when I was in college, we had the English team, and I would say 90% of our barn was quarter horses. And I was like, what the heck? They can do this? Obviously they can. But just for me, what it was is how responsive they were to my legs and getting off my legs and just kind of having those cues that I wasn't used to.
Oh, cool.
And how we would ride around and then just go take them on a trail ride. And they were like, okay, whatever you want, we'll do. And just how they really were
They're just
down
fun.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt safe, and I was like, this is so much fun to have a horse that we could be in the ring, be on the trail, doing whatever, and they're like, let's go, I'm game.
Yeah. I mean,
So
what more
that's
could you want, really?
What'd you say?
I said, what more could you want, really?
Now, if I was doing the jumpers or something different, that'd be a different story.
Yeah. Well, I'm just biased because my favorite two horses I've ever had both just happen to be Dutch warm bloods. So I'm just going to say that's probably my favorite breed because I associate that with my most beloved heart horse.
Of course.
I also just really like a big horse with a big stride, like that big suspension in their trot and their canter, like that I love. And so most of those horses have that sort of gait. They kind of have that floaty trot. I love that. And the warm bloods are not all of them, but they're usually pretty quiet. And I like a big, quiet, calm horse, which now that I say that, when I'm lumping warm bloods together saying, oh, they're all quiet, I think we so often tend to stereotype breeds.
Oh, 100%.
The warm bloods are slow and dumb. The thoroughbreds are hot. The Arabians are spooky and crazy. And what else? What are some other stereotypes?
Quarter horses, Western.
Yeah.
Trap horses are just kind of there. They have a job, but don't really, you know what I mean?
All ponies are naughty.
Yeah. That's a good, we do.
So you have to be careful, before you lump a breed into this entire category, because it's not true. Each horse is an individual, and there's so much you have to take into account when you're thinking about a breed or a type of breed. But
for sure.
Anyway, that's a tangent. Are there any breeds that you have ridden that are a little bit more unique or that have a completely different feel to them?
I rode a Tennessee Walker, and I've also ridden a few gaited horses.
Yeah.
My brain really struggled with that. I mean, it was amazing. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so smooth. I understand. But my English brain, I'm like, so when do you post? And they're like, no, just sit there, you know? So that was really cool for me because it was like an older lady's horse that she just brought on the trails, and she's like, you want to go on a trail ride with me? And I was like, sure. Oh, it was so much fun. I just kind of got to relax and enjoy it. And I was like, once again, I understand why people get these.
I've ridden an Icelandic horse. That was really cool and really smooth.
I said riding an Icelandic horse is on my bucket list. That is something I want to do in life.
Yes. No, they are so smooth. If you couldn't post if you tried. I mean, it's just like floating. I've also ridden the one gaited horse I rode. It's called a Kentucky natural gaited horse. They also call them Appalachian gaited horses. It was out in eastern Kentucky. I think it's related to your Kentucky Mountain or your Rocky Mountain saddle horse breed. It's a gaited breed, and there's all these little smaller subsets that they've bred for certain specialties. But the thing that I found so challenging riding that sort of breed is that your aids are completely different. It responds to your seat. I'd be trying to get it to move off my leg or to trot or to do whatever, and it's nope, you have to raise your hand and control it with your seat, and it was just so foreign to me. But we did go on We did go on some, like, one heck of a trail ride up a mountain, and those things, man, they are sure-footed,
Mhm.
they are hardy, they can just go and go and go, so I totally respect that in that sort of breed.
I'm also trying to think. I've ridden a few thoroughbreds, not fresh off the track, but pretty fresh off the track.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about earlier with stereotypes, they were all very different. I had one that was hot. He just wanted to go. And then I had another one that I was riding and he's like, I don't really care to go fast. I've already done that. Can we go slow? And he ended up going to a hunter. Like he did not want to go anywhere. And
That's so funny.
I did not expect it. I was like, okay, here comes another one. Like we might get taken off with. He's like, no, please, God, don't.
Yeah, I find the thoroughbreds really run the gamut of, like, yeah, they can be as hot as all get out, or they can just be super level-headed and chill and good trail horses, I mean, but so if you could I know you just got your horse in the past year, but if you could get another horse or start over, what breed if you could just have it pick any breed, what would you try to get?
I would do a warm blood. A
Yeah.
Mecklenburg, that was my horse I had in college, well, before college, high school. We did the hunters. I loved him. He was a saint. I think that would be the horse that I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna go live my best adult Annie life on this hunter." Pull up to the horse show, or this is gonna be crazy, but a fjord. Fjord? Did I
Yeah, the
saying that?
Norwegian Fjord. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, ever since I was a
They're
kid, I
so
was like,
cool
"I
looking.
that." I don't know, their mane, everything I've looked up about them, like, I'm just like, "I need you in my backyard." Like, that would be a husband horse for me. I'd be like, "Okay, I'll take
There
this
you
one,
go.
you can take this one." I feel like level-headed, could do the trails, could do whatever really, like
Yeah,
and if I'm wrong, someone please correct me, but to me, it's one of those breeds that is really just an all-arounder. Like,
I
can do
think
a lot.
so, yeah. Yeah, a good pleasure horse, it's just yeah, a good all-around versatile horse, yeah.
Okay, what about
They
you?
could probably even do, like, some driving with them too.
You're thinking. Okay, I know you kind of stepped back from buying and leasing at this point in time, but if someone was like, "Alex, pick whatever you want, I'll get it for you." What are you picking?
So, I know I hinted at this on a previous episode, but I'm now just, like, super curious about the Mustangs,
Mhm.
and I think it would be fun to work with one because I think they're probably pretty easy keepers. I think they're probably pretty sound and can do probably anything you ask them to do. So, I'm tempted to dive into that world. But the other breeds that I've never ever handled or been around or ridden, but I think would be super cool are some of the Spanish breeds.
Yeah.
Because I think they're probably just super handy and just can do some really cool stuff.
It's just I think it also depends on, like, where you're located geographically, like, obviously what
True.
horses you're seeing. Because I was doing some research earlier and I was like, "Okay, what are some breeds that no one really talks about?" And I was like, "I've been a horse girl my whole life," and I'm like, "I've never heard of half these breeds." I'm like, "Now I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole after this," and be like, what other ones can I find?"
Yeah. So, on that note, I just want to wrap up with just some smart bits of advice if you are trying to decide on your next horse on what breed it's going to be. Because I think when all's said and done, the individual horse is more important than the breed, right? I mean, we do know that there are breeds that we see consistently performing well in certain areas, like ranch work, quarter
Mhm.
horses, trail riding. You've got a lot of these gated breeds that are very well suited for that. Endurance, mostly Arabians, jumping, sport horses. I mean, breed is important, but it's not the end all be all. So
Mhm.
I would say focus on temperament and personality over appearance and breeding.
Mhm.
Don't get hung up on what's trendy or what looks pretty on social media or what everybody else is riding because it might not be a good fit for you. And I think importantly, I'm not sure people always take this into consideration is if there is a breed that intrigues you, do your research because a
Mhm.
lot of them have certain health conditions that they're predisposed to that you might just want to be aware of or management considerations because like we were just talking about the fjord and some of these breeds are like super easy keepers and that might be something to keep in mind when you're doing your research. So yeah, those are kind of my bits of advice. I don't know if you have any additional tips.
I think it's also, like, for me, when I was looking at horses, I had a conversation with my trainers because we do a bunch of
Yes. Yeah.
and I was like, "What are we thinking here? Like, where am I at as a rider? Where do you see me going in the next few years? And what horse will help me get there?" And they were like, "Any horse can help you get there," but they were like, "We think a quarter horse will be the best option for you right now." And technically, Shiloh's an appendix, so he's a little bit thoroughbred in him. So they were like, "He can do all this stuff, stay in your budget, and also continue to grow with you instead
Yeah.
of you being overfaced." And I was like, "There you go." And like, it was a very interesting conversation because obviously I'm like, "Oh, I want the warm blood. Everyone's riding warm bloods, like you're saying." And I'm like, we wouldn't have been able to mesh well for where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, your personal goals and skill level as a rider are a big consideration as well. I also think that kind of brings up another point is see if you can take a lesson on some of these horses because they all feel different. They all have different gaits. They all have different builds. I mean, I think that would be a huge benefit if you're able to go sit on the breed that you're interested before you embark down that path and decide I must have this.
I definitely think that helped. Like it opened my eyes to what is out there. And I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of factors obviously that goes into it, but
For sure.
realistic, I feel like is the biggest thing about your
Yeah.
goals, like thing and what you can afford.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about price. We're just going to pretend that we can all afford our dream horses. So, on that note, happy shopping, everyone. I hope you end up with the breed of your dreams. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.